In this last video, I want to see if we can bring everything full circle. In order to succeed financially in this new world, I think you need to do two things. First, have a strategy. Second, be able to explain why that strategy works in this new normal. Armed with that, anyone can build and manage their own portfolio. So over the next few minutes, I want to give you the 3 easy steps you need to take to build and self-manage an endowment type portfolio. And at the end of these few minutes, I want to offer you the chance to get a free analysis of some of the absolute return investments that are out there. And I want to offer you a free sale plan that you can use or transition into. Now, we've all heard the saying, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. But I really believe that this endowment strategy, where you have half your money in growth investments and half your money in absolute return investments, is better than that because it hopes and plans for the best and protects you from the worst. It's the only strategy that is proven through trial and error by large Ivy League universities to work in those long stretches of idle and erratic markets. And it's the only investment strategy compatible with the sale type plan we looked at last time. To make this endowment strategy go, you only need to do 3 things. Step 1, get your allocation right. Now, I've been saying you should have half your money in growth investments and half your money in absolute return investments, but it's not quite that cut and dry. There's kind of a range of allocations you may fall into depending on your feelings about volatility. A good rule of thumb is this simple formula. If you consider yourself an aggressive investor, you should have 120 minus your age as a percent in growth investments. If you consider yourself a moderate investor, you should have 110 minus your age as a percent in growth investments. And if you consider yourself a conservative investor, you should have 100 minus your age as a percent in growth investments. If you'd like, I can give you a way to reach back to me at the end of this video to get a more in-depth and technical explanation for how this formula evolved and why it works. But for now, just know that this is a good guide as you get started. Step 2, make sure your absolute return investments are really absolute return investments. The biggest mistake someone could make, and in my opinion, the only mistake someone could make with this strategy, is to not have true absolute return investments in the absolute return part of the portfolio. We looked at how bond values fluctuate with interest rates in a previous video. Bond values will crater if interest rates go up from the historic lows they sit at now. Bonds are not absolute return investments. Neither are REITs or real estate. Look at how real estate moves with interest rate fluctuations, much like bonds. Real estate values will crater if interest rates go up from the historic lows they sit at now. REITs and real estate are not absolute return investments. Neither are utility stocks. They move opposite of interest rates just like real estate and bonds. Utility stocks will crater if interest rates go up from the historic lows they sit at now. Utility stocks are not absolute return investments. Having both growth investments and true absolute return investments is the only way to make money in both good markets and erratic and idle markets. And remember, those erratic and idle markets can last 10 plus years, so it's important to get this part right. Don't be afraid to get advice and guidance on the range of absolute return strategies that will work. And this is something we can certainly help you with. At the end of this video, I'll tell you how to get a free analysis that will explain which category each of your current investments falls into. Everyone already has things that can work in one part of the strategy or the other, so you'll already have a head start. Step 3, the final step, plan for withdrawals. And write down your plan. Withdrawals during a down or idle market will ruin you. Only a well thought out, well organized, and written out withdrawal plan will allow you to take money from your growth investments during those stretches of good markets and enable you to take money from your absolute return investments during those stretches of idle and erratic markets. Remember, taking money from a portfolio during down or flat years, even if you need the money to live on, will absolutely ruin you in retirement. It's how good people with good nest eggs at the beginning of their retirement end up in trouble. If you don't already have one, consider a sale plan. At the end of this, I'll let you know how you can reach back to us and get a free sale calculation and plan done for you if you haven't already done that. Again, don't be afraid to get a little guidance and advice as you build out your personal endowment strategy. The guidance and advice is free, fast, easy, and private. And it won't prevent you from self-managing your portfolio going forward. If anything, it'll give you the start and the confidence you need to bypass management fees and control your future. Just click on the button you see at the end of this presentation. You'll be directed to a site where you can enter your contact information and someone will reach out to you. We're offering anyone who wants one a free analysis that will explain which category each of your current investments falls into and a free custom sale plan. Now, we can't know for sure what the future holds, but we've seen that the market can have long 10 plus years of growth and long 10 plus years of erratic and zero growth. But we've learned how to leverage the strategy of Ivy League University endowment funds to set ourselves up for success no matter what comes down the road. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to click the button at the end of this to get those free calculations and also to get any questions you have answered. With that, stay safe and good luck.